Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter held a monthly aid distribution in Manila, with care recipients also bringing their recyclables. Staff from Tzu Chi Humanitarian Culture Center rehearsed Lotus Sutra for year-end blessing ceremony on January 11th. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter recently held a monthly aid distribution in Manila. All of the care recipients who have received Tzu Chi's help brought recyclables to this event. On each distribution day, Tzu Chi care recipients came to the Jinshi Hall with the recyclables they have collected. This family even takes a taxi carrying 5 bags of recyclables to come here, as they say without Tzu Chi, their daughter would die of heart disease.
Recycling is a way for us to repay Tzu Chi's love. We have promised to collect 4 to 7 bags of recyclables every month. We not only want to receive blessings, but we also want to share them with others.
After receiving help from others, they also want to pay love forward. This man used to think he was useless, but he has regained confidence because of the Tzu Chi coin bank.
Now we also donate money to Tzu Chi. I've realized that I can still do something meaningful. Even with a small amount of money, we can also use it to help those in need and even save life.
At this monthly gathering, Tzu Chi not only provides supplies and medication, but it also offers spiritual support. Cherry Amaso, who comes here to provide free haircuts, though she could only work as a maid her whole life.
I have attended free barber training. Now I can rely on these skills to make money.
Coming to this distribution with gratitude and returning home full of love, all of the care recipients feel content as their life has become more meaningful. In China, 29 Tzu Chi volunteers went to a village in Anhui to conduct home visits. After learning that some residents have financial problems, Tzu Chi volunteers promised to help. Changbiao village was built along the mountains. As the roads are bumpy and there is few land, there's few opportunities for the villagers to earn income. Therefore, they have to be self-reliant. 29 Tzu Chi volunteers from Hangzhou and Anhui have been divided into 6 groups to visit 52 households with the guidance of village cadres. Most young people have left the village to work in other places. This has led the villagers to either have no one to rely on or only to live with their husband or wife. After the home visits, volunteers and village cadres exchange their experiences.
He looked unapproachable. We looked at the senior and asked him whether he had eaten yet. He reacted like this. We thought he could not understand what we were talking. Later, he stared at us. We think this is because he thought many charitable organizations just muddle through their work after their first visit. Only this volunteer was willing to take off his gloves and then wash his hands. So this is what we call companionship.
With the long-term companionship, love can be sent to the hearts of people who need care. It is expected that with this experience, the village cadres can help invite more people to care for the needy. Since 2010, Tzu Chi volunteers have started to make a monthly visit to a nursing home in Colombo, Sri Lanka. In addition to bathing, cutting nails, and caring for the health of residents, volunteers also share with them stories about other less fortunate people.
We're people who are suffering. A care visit like this makes us feel very happy.
Victoria Home, which is located in Colombo, the capital of Sri Lanka, has housed nearly 200 underprivileged people. Over the past 7 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have visited this nursing home every month to care for the residents, much like they were their family.
Besides my parents, you are my relatives. You are so kind and sincere, and you have helped us without asking for anything in return.
Recently, volunteers have also started to introduce Tzu Chi to the residents and share with them the videos associated with international disaster relief.
We have been here all the time and we didn't go out. We did not know what has happened in the world. Now we know that there are calamities and people who are also suffering in other countries.
To reciprocate love and spread compassion, residents of this nursing home also take initiative to donate their money, hoping to do their share to help other less fortunate people. For more than 20 years, Taipei City has continued to delay the demolition of illegal buildings. Taipei Mayor Ke Wen-je has said there is a need to carry out this work, though a number of city councilors said it would be difficult to carry out this work with limited staff and budget.
Taipei City has more than 86,000 illegally built structures. 56,000 are currently documented by authorities and classified as older structures that don't require immediate demolition.
There shouldn't be illegal structures, but it doesn't mean you can never dismantle it. But you need to do it in a fair and just way.
While illegal, most of these structures have existed for the past 20 years, leading some to believe that authorities are powerless to enact the law.
If you haven't increased the budget, then how can you tell everyone that you will demolish illegal construction? Some think it may be a joke.
Taipei Mayor Chen Sui-bian allowed existing illegal constructions built prior to 1995 to exist, provided they were not a public danger. According to current requirements, if there are more than 3 rooms or impact fire rescue workers or other conditions, they could be demolished.
Construction such as commercial building, illegal rooftop buildings with more than 3 rooms, or those which are stories in height, can all be dealt with under this plan.
Now, Taipei Mayor Ke Wen-je has said that regardless of safety issues, all illegal constructions must be demolished, though some 65% of these illegal constructions were built long ago, leading many citizens to question if the city is really serious.
70 or 80 years ago, there was illegal construction, and Mayor Ke said he would demolish all of it, and citizens would not agree with him, but I don't think he can do all of it.
Earlier, Ke showed his anger by announcing a list of city councilors who violated rules regarding illegal construction. Climbing to the top of this building, there are small rooms built, on which should be open space. Each unit has a special characteristic.
There's 1 room and 1 living room and then a bathroom, and then there's a big kitchen and some balcony space.
What's even more startling is that the tiles used for the walls of this rooftop apartment blend into the building below, making it look legal. Real estate agents say this type of existing illegal structure may have secretly added after the building had been granted a permit for use. This may explain why it intends to blend into the building below.
Many, when talking to homeowners, say this is our design, and after we complete this work, we'll do another round of construction before turning the house over to you.
Illegal construction is common. Landlords and construction firms always find loopholes to add such buildings so they can sell at a higher price.
In the past, the government was not as strict as now. If you add a rooftop construction, you can get an extra $15,000 to $3,000 for each 3 square meters.
However, people buying houses, especially older units, may face risks, as they need to ensure the property is the same as legally stated, as it is best to buy from a reputable company who has an obligation to inform buyers of all conditions.
The Ministry of the Interior has stipulated that it is imperative to provide the purchaser with a complete description of the real estate. This means that we have to say a room has been put on the balcony, and this mezzanine may be an illegal construction.
However, it is still a thorny issue, whether or not illegal buildings should be dismantled. This issue can become even more difficult in the Xini district, where large sums of money may be involved.
This was originally an open space, an empty alley.
And here we see the storefront was originally legally required open space. This means that construction is prohibited here and no building was permitted, though it was turned into a storefront. Initially, this dispute began with a complaint about the roof leaking, as the borough chief was notified, but after documents were requested, the boss felt some remorse.
The Urban Renewal Office and the Building and Construction Management Office have all come to check several times.
This case, as far as I know, the fire department said it wouldn't prevent their fire and disaster relief operations. Therefore, we didn't actively pursue this case.
If an existing building is illegally built, it can confuse tenants and neighbors. However, demolishing the entire building can be difficult for Taipei City in terms of manpower and financing.
In terms of manpower, there are only 63 staff with annual budget of just $240,000 for demolition of these illegal buildings. There is only so much we can do.
Illegal buildings in this crowded and narrow metropolitan area continues to be a problem, as some are amazed that new illegal structures are popping up, which also need to be demolished.
That's why we do not want to create more problems for demolition. So we have these older illegal buildings, which the Building Administration Office is dealing with and developing a plan, but I haven't seen anything so far.
The issue of illegal construction continues to vex municipal authorities, who fear enacting such measures, which could lead them to lose votes, as well as waste precious financial resources. This leads some to say that the debate over this subject is just a war of words.
There are about 240,000 dementia patients in Taiwan, and 1 out of 13 people over 65 years old suffers from the disease. Actually, there are some symptoms to detect dementia at an early stage. If found early, dementia can be controlled and slowed through medication and professional care.
Grandma Ge is 74 years old, but recently she holds her weenie bear wherever she goes and not allowing anyone to touch it.
She won't let strangers change for her, so you need to trick her into changing.
She was diagnosed to have dementia 2 years ago and lost her ability to remember things, so she began to stock things in her room but always forget about it.
When we buy fruits or snack for her, she stocks them in her room and forgets to eat them.
They will stock things at home. There's a medical term, hoarding disorder, for it. The past memories tell them they should store these items, but they will soon forget about what they've stored.
Due to the worsened short-term memory and judgments, hoarding disorder could be precursor for dementia, as well as the patient becoming less outgoing, less social, and depressed.
Her temper is not as good as before, and she'll be upset suddenly from time to time.
We need to turn their attention away, but we can't throw their stored items away because that will make the patient feel abandoned, as the thrown items represent their connections to the past memories.
If an elderly you know starts to have hoarding disorder, change of personalities, and become less social and depressed, you need to let doctors evaluate if he or she has dementia.
At the early stage of dementia, the patient's memory will decrease, and what we can do is to simplify the environment so they feel in control of their own surrounding, and they can gain more securities in familiar places.
The patients can still feel at home even in nursing home by surrounding themselves with their favorite collections, like the pictures on the wall or toy dolls near the window. Early-stage dementia patients can still slow down the disease through medication and professional care to help them keep in touch with people and keep a healthy life quality.
Tzu Chi Humanitarian Cultural Center in Taipei, Taiwan is holding its year-end blessing ceremony on January 11th. Hundreds of staff members are preparing the presentation of the Lotus Sutra, which involves 4 large screens, sound effects, and dance.
At the Sutra adaptation from the galaxy of the universe to the dust of the vast land, the LED screen is showing the images with the floor screen as well as 3 surrounding large screens.
就像我们现在很流行所谓的虚拟实境。
It is similar to what we call virtual reality. In viewing virtual reality, the viewer feels he is surrounded by the scene. So your eyes will see views like this. We display such views on stage.
全部一口气呈现，你这是。
The musical adaptation of the Buddhist Sutra utilizes dance movements and large screen effects. The story crosses the span of 2,500 years, and every story has its unique background.
有一段是李爷爷的故事，那李爷爷
There's a section about Grandpa Lee's story. Grandpa Lee is a shipping tycoon. Therefore, we designed a scene where the viewers are surrounded by the ocean. When we talk about Lhasa and Leprosy Sanitarium, we display clips of the place produced by DaAi TV.
With technology and use of videos and music, the sutra adaptation aims to spread Buddhist teachings in an exciting and extraordinary way.
Rehearsals for a dramatic performance of the Lotus Sutra have been going on for some time. Earlier, an original musical score mixing both Eastern and Western musical styles was composed over a period of 3 months.
On-stage volunteers rehearsed this adaptation of the Lotus Sutra, including lyrics and uniform movement.
The Buddha lectured about 4 noble truths, and the Pratyeka Buddha talked about the 12 links, and finally the 6 paramitas, refers to taking actions to help other people.
During the last 8 years before the Buddha entered Nirvana, he lectured on the Lotus Sutra. The CEO of Tzu Chi Humanitarian Culture Center, Wang Duanzhen, has turned the difficult sutra into lyrical verse. He explains to the onstage volunteers that the gist of the Lotus Sutra focuses on one word.
The gist of it is love, compassion, and great love. Without love, great love, or compassion, there would not be these Buddhist sutras.
While Mr. Wang turned the sutra verses into lyrics, the music team, which includes producer Gao Dawei, spent 3 months working on the music. Having worked at Taipei Philharmonic Foundation, he combined Eastern and Western styles and composed music according to the master's guidance.
According to the master, she prefers the music to be more classical. Therefore, I added erhu, flute, and Chinese lute to the instruments that we used.
The Buddha harbors compassion and guides people to walk the Bodhisattva path, while Tzu Chi has spent half a century lessening the pain and suffering in the world.
In the 20 years since DaAi TV officially launched, the staff and volunteers in foreign countries have made great contributions to the station. Signature programs include US Tzu Chi 360, which is produced in the United States, Tzu Chi in Malaysia, produced in Malaysia, and 46 programs produced by DaAi TV Indonesia. All these programs spread wholesome values and positively impact society.
In June of 2011, TV program Tzu Chi in Malaysia officially launched. It was supported by 4 Tzu Chi chapters in Malaysia. Due to lack of manpower and experience, the production team had to create a program from scratch.
The mountain is very steep. It is very tiring. I remember it was the time when we went to Eastern Malaysia. Back then, we carried a lot of equipment for the simple purpose of filming how an indigenous child went home. We had no experience and did not know anything about the program host. We learned from DaAi programs. When we taped our show, we could only borrow the space of Jinsi Books and Cafe. Therefore, we had to wait till Jinsi Books and Cafe was not in business or after it closed to tape the show.
I started producing Tzu Chi in Malaysia since I came here. It's been 4.5 years. In Tzu Chi world, there are a lot of wonderful stories, good topics, which really touch and inspire people. It is as if I've entered a treasure house, seeing gold and silver. How can I present these gold and silver well? I must be mindful and not waste the gold and silver.
Up till now, 342 episodes of Tzu Chi in Malaysia have aired. The production team traveled to places combining knowledge with sensations. Nevertheless, the production team only consists of a writer and photographer, who will also have to direct, edit, post-produce, do voiceovers, and add music to the videos. Therefore, they invite Tzu Chi's media volunteers to join them, working in concerted efforts. In July of 2011, TV program US Tzu Chi 360 launched, telling Tzu Chi stories from an American point of view.
把360放到这个节目的名称里面。
One important reason that we put 360 into our program title is that, first of all, we want to provide an all-around view to look at the works of U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers. Of course, secondly, the United States is a big melting pot, so we provide a viewpoint of people of different backgrounds, different religious beliefs and ethnicities.
From Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Sandy, Ecuador earthquake, Hurricane Harvey to the recent Mexico earthquake, the program includes the volunteers' footprints in the aftermath of all these disasters. In 2015, the program began airing on the internet, reaching more viewers who are younger. In August of 2007, DaAi TV Indonesia started airing programs. In Jakarta, Medan, a total of 46 programs in Indonesian have been produced.
For me personally, I did not come to DaAi TV to produce programs for the salary. I hope to make a difference through the programs produced, and the programs produced by DaAi TV make positive impact. At DaAi TV, I found my ideal.
10 years ago, there were only 10 staff members at DaAi TV in Indonesia. Currently, DaAi TV in Jakarta, Medan have a total staff members of 259 people. With a picture and a video frame, the programs have made positive impact in the minds of the viewers everywhere, spreading love and wholesome values.
A year-end blessing ceremony was held at Baoshan Elementary School in Taidong, Taiwan. It was attended by nearly 1,000 people, including students from 5 schools that Tzu Chi has helped rebuild.
Students from the soccer team of Fontaine Junior High School are performing on stage. They do it to thank Tzu Chi's assistance to the lunch and the dormitory for the school sports class.
We hope to plant kindness in the hearts of the kids, and we teachers can also grow from the students paying back.
Malan Elementary School is another school that Tzu Chi helped rebuild to reduce disasters, and it touched the parents of the school's students. Therefore, the students and their parents performed together to experience the filial piety. After receiving the red envelopes of blessing and wisdom, the attendees of the ceremony turns on the light in their hands and wishes they can gather the power of love to bring peace to the world.
Tzu Chi volunteers work with elders in Hualien School for community to undertake handicraft such as paper cuttings and spring couplets to welcome the Lunar New Year. We will leave you with these images. Goodbye!